Welcome back to another Monkey Business 202 video. Welcome back. We're another genre here, back with this. Yeah, you already know what I'm saying. All right, so we back. Today, like I said, we back with another reaction on this one. This one's actually, I think, a little bit more different than what we usually do. This is still Jubilee, but this will get a little, I would say, at sometimes dark or sometimes just weird. Understand if you like to, if you see that as weird and you'd like to click off the video, that's fine with me. Yeah, but this is a little not my normal intake, not my normal type of thing, but it's fine. I think we'll just roll with it. All right, so today we got if white men were 100% honest. Now this, I'm gonna have a perspective in a different point of view because I'm not white. I'm obviously not white. I'm actually Hispanic. I'm Hispanic male. And I'm just it's all my opinions are gonna be from an Hispanic / male point of view. I just want to get that through and be like, oh, well, you can't be talking about because you're not white. All this and that. Like I know I'm not white. All this and that. I'm just seeing, when I do give my opinion on something, it's from opinion of a minority or an Hispanic of that. So I mean, yeah, that's what I want to start off with the video. But yeah, so let's get into it, y'all.
We brought together 7 strangers, protected their identities, and created a space for them to be completely honest. What will be revealed when they take the mask off?
The mask off. This is already a series, but it's pretty cool. Okay, so we're gonna look at the questions before the answer, obviously. So this says we'll go from 6 to 1. Everyone is racist, including me. Okay, that one's okay. That one's a big topic. I've struggled with my sexuality. Okay, that's also another topic on that one. Have you ever been confused by consent? That one's a weird topic. I feel like that one we gotta kind of watch out, like, because the answers could be very divided. Women have more power than me. I would say it's controversial because it does depend on what type of woman or type of saying of that. But I think that's a very debatable topic that people have talked in the past. Now this one, I feel like too, if you have been a victim of this certain action or you've been a victim of anything close to this, I feel like you can just click off. It's obviously fine. It says I have RAPEE fantasies. I will not say it together because I think we just got to censor it because it's not right. But yeah, I feel like this one I'm happy, not heavy, but like I'm not be very spitting my opinion on this one. And one, I've been abused. I would say abuse has been a basic, not basic, but a big trauma thing in our entire society. And I think a lot of people could relate to this, on a lot of scales. But we'll see on what white males think on this one, because this is just white males, So yeah.
Everyone is racist, including me.
Agree or disagree? Okay, so I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna disagree. Everyone is racist? No, I don't think everyone's racist, including me. No. Well, I'm racist. I'm not a racist. Obviously, I think racism is like a disease. It's kind of like a virus that infects our society, and it's kind of killing it off. And yes, I understand racism is very talked about and kind of political thing. And I already understand this. We're not gonna get political, but we're not talking about no politics. I'm just spewing my opinion out. That's it. Take it as you may or leave a comment about it. That's it. But yeah, I would say I'm not racist, and I feel like that's the thing. There are racist people, and you can't. I mean, you could try to stop it. There's only so much you can do, but racism is extremely hard to like kill. But I think future generations, I think it will either racism will conquer, or racism will just die off. It's one of those two. But I feel like just that's how, it's how the times are currently. So yeah, that's what I want to get off of that one. But I disagree.
I'm not, like, nobody wants to think of themselves as racist, and I don't think that I'm racist in the way that I think we think about racism, but I think I took the question as these like inherent biases that everybody has, and I think most of the time, most people are not aware of them.
It's weird. I think there's like this new generational divide of like, you are a racist or you said a racist thing. And I don't know where the line is. You might say something a little racist or something you don't see as racist, someone calls you out and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, apologize. And if you argue that point against them, then I would say you're a racist. But if you understand, you come to understanding, you learn, everyone should be able to forgive that person and be like, no, you made a mistake. People make mistakes.
Oh, okay. I feel like, you could correct people if they did have a kind of a racist take, or it was like a mistake. They weren't intending to be racist, but they just came out racist. It came out racist, but they didn't intend to. I feel like, I think you could correct that. And I feel like that could kind of be fixed on that part.
I don't know. I feel like it's a binary now.
I think a really important thing that kind of is tough with cancel culture right now is that road to redemption. And so after you've said something
I agree with Johnny here.
wrong, how do you make yourself right again in the public sphere? At least personally, I feel like I don't see that a lot with cancel culture. Is if someone makes amends, there's now an acceptance like, hey, you did something wrong, but you're okay now, or at least better.
I think social media kind of incentivizes against redemption, and I feel like it's just outrage. And I do think people do like the rush of anger. I don't think people really believe in redemption.
Not
anymore.
most people do. There are some.
Just kind of disagree with the idea of racism as a binary. It kind of goes back to that like really old meme where like Skipper says like, we did it, Mrs. Obama, racism is over. The idea of a redemption is back to that like really old meme where like Skipper says like, we did it, Mrs. Obama.
This is a good meme. It's a good meme because it's like, it's to stop racism on that. But I feel like a meme like that, it's whole. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it isn't just like take one take. Like, it's really good. Yeah, Miss Obama, I've done it. I stopped. Good. That's an amazing meme. I love that meme. It's so funny.
Racism is over. The idea of a redemption is just like, all right, they've fixed their racism. In the sense that like, I think the redemption that our society is calling for is impossible. It's almost like you need to like write a check every time you make a racism, and like that will absolve you of your thing. Where I think like what we should be doing is like the idea of growth towards a better understanding.
I have struggled with my sexuality.
Okay, I have struggled with my sexuality. Have I, in any sort of terms or any like struggled with it? I've never had a struggle, so I disagree because I never had a struggle with it. But I think that's just me type of thing. A lot of people think differently than what I believe, and I think I just personally just disagree on this one.
I felt an attraction to men really young, and I didn't connect to gay culture at all. And I was like, I'm either straight or gay. It can't be another one. So I very consciously put myself in the closet, and I didn't feel confidence to like be my own person, obviously in high school. And slowly but surely, I started to come out to more people and talk about my experience and stuff. But people come out of the closet, that's one thing. That's the second step. The first step is like really kind of like acknowledging it and like loving yourself. And that was the hardest part for me. And I'm pretty good now. I'm happy.
That's
happy
good.
And bi.
Okay.
Now very comfortable with my sexuality, and I know it's a spectrum, but I think I'm for the most part straight. I struggled with depression for a long time, and I think one of the side effects of that for me was I fell into an eating disorder, and I got really skinny, and because I was struggling with an eating disorder, it made me for some reason question my sexuality. And I understand how messed up that is now.
Yeah.
I started to ask myself, why did you associate that one with the other? And I think it was because it's just not largely talked about with straight men that we can still struggle with mental health and eating disorders.
I think that needs to be talked about a lot more.
Somebody might say,
Especially as,
of, me walking in to my house after the first day
first grade, and I'm just like, hey mom, I think I have a crush on my friend. And my mom kind of laughed, and she's like, oh, boys don't have crushes on boys. And I was like, cool, got it, awesome. Just put that in the back of my mind. And I'm still working with like the idea that if I have a crush on a man, that's not inherently disgusting, because what's more disgusting than a man wanting you? Like you said, like connecting to the gay community, unless you fit like, it seems the tiniest of boxes, is really hard. And even now, like I went out last night and I had somebody that I kind of like caught my eye, but I had no idea how to approach that. It's like everybody else got like a manual and like 17 easy steps to not have social anxiety when in the club. And I'm just like, I guess I was sick that day. I didn't get that class. I didn't sign up for it on LinkedIn. Just, sorry, I'm using humor to cover it up. I went up to a guy and said, you're so handsome. And I was like, oh my God, that sounds like I'm an old woman. You know, they're like, you're so handsome. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, obviously don't say that. But it's like, okay, but then what do you say?
Yeah, it's true.
It's like, do I not think that he's handsome? I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you ever been confused by consent before?
Right. Okay. Well, so I'm gonna start with, have you ever been confused by consent? No. Me personally, no. I've never been confused. I feel like a no is a no and a yes is a yes. There it is. Unless that thing is said out of the word of that person wanting to do that action, that person shouldn't be able to be taken advantage of because because this did that, blah blah blah. They shouldn't be taking advantage of that. That's not fair. Then they should be taken advantage in general, just because they said no. Okay, and that's still like you problem, bud. But like I said, yeah, I think consent. It's a big thing in the world now, which is not such a big thing in the past, which is really sad to see. Not really sad, but really it really shows how the world was back in but it's kind of new, and I feel like I think more people should just get to know what consent is and all that, and I think that just I think it's just basic type of things like consent and that. But like I said, disagree. Never be confused. A yes is a yes. A no is a no. I think that's just basic. I feel like that's just basic kind of instinct, and that if a person says no, they say no. They don't want you. There you go. See that.
There have been instances where, in terms of friends, relationships, whatever, I can go too far because I misinterpreted consent, and just because people seem comfortable with something, you kind of go along with it.
Yeah, I think the reason I said yes was just thinking very specifically about situations where both of us have been really drunk or something like that, where it's like, it's not one person's sober and the other person's drunk and the drunk person's saying yes, but if you're both drunk and both consenting and into it in the moment, and then the next day, like I've had neither of us really consented. Is anybody in the wrong here? That's kind of what
I understand when he's coming from. It's like they're both under the influence and they both technically said yes, but like you don't really know because you're under the influence. But yeah, okay, I understand that.
I thought of when I heard I've been confused about consent. It's not as much in the moment, but after the fact in that scenario.
Jack, that situation is pretty scary because you interpret it one way, and if someone was hurt and you didn't mean to do that, and you didn't take the precautions for that, you're still at fault, and that sucks. And I'm not saying that's your situation.
Yeah.
That's that's the kind of world we live in, where we can really get in trouble sometimes, even when we don't mean to hurt others, and it sucks.
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing about consent is it's not always just like this guy being like, oh, come on, like, there's such a finer line. There's so many gray areas that it's really important to have those conversations because there can be so many different scenarios that are still non-consensual. So
yeah,
women have more power than me.
Women have more power than me. Agree or disagree? This one, I would say I kind of disagree on a scale of how women are. I mean, yeah, on some sort of levels, they do have more, technically, with quotation marks in the air, power. But, I mean, in reality, what I see as power, I see is more as like a strength. And I'm not saying women don't have strength. I'm just saying that us as men, we usually have a lot of strength. That's kind of how that's how we're built. We're very masculine, mammals, and we have a lot of strength you know. And I mean, there are ones where women are better at us at, which is 100% kind of factual. That sometimes women are better at us at something than than what we're better at, type of thing. But I would say that no, women do not have more power to me, as in like, oh, okay, that I have more power to her, as in just like on a scale of strength. Like, oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously there are strong, there's always strong women like that. But I'm just saying it as in like, men nowadays have more power than women. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Men nowadays have more power than women. And that's kind of how I'm taking it, as in like, okay, I disagree because men nowadays, including me, they just have more power, just in general. Like they have more money. They have all these things compared to just a normal woman. Yeah, I know there are some women who have more power than other men, and I see that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But it's like, just nowadays it's more common to see the men with more power, which is kind of it's still kind of in the middle. I mean, yeah, that's how the race kind of be. But I mean, yeah, I think usually that's what men you should just have that against women. I mean, yes, it's very debatable topic, and a lot of people have debates on this, but it's just my opinion, like I said. And if you have another opinion like you would like to discuss, don't forget to leave it in the comment section, like I said.
Yeah, I definitely don't think women have more power. And I think some people might think that just because you're seeing a growing relative power that, some men might not be used to, now that women are kind of getting closer to being equal to some people that might feel like they're getting more power and they might be more powerful. And so I can understand why someone might, perceive that as relative, but absolutely I don't agree that like women have more power. I think we're getting closer to equality at this point where it's a work in progress.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like a yes and no question. I was harassed by a superior who was a woman at a previous job, like repeatedly harassed. I reported it to my boss, who was a white male, and he just laughed it off and said, toughen up, Buttercup. When women are harassed, I think if I was a woman and I reported harassment, especially right now with Me Too and everything, CEO would see a huge red flag, a huge possible controversy, and like, I know there's definitely, ways when that isn't true, but for me it was just like, we don't care. Exactly. You're a man, toughen up. I don't give a shit. Like, she's a woman. She can't harass you. I
can agree with that.
It was really hard. I'm sorry.
Wow, okay. Dang, man.
And I was really scared, and like, if I didn't have some, good women in my life and some good people, I wouldn't have taken action. I would have just toughened up, and I would have let it kill me inside.
Sorry that happened.
No, yeah. Sorry, broski.
I've had fantasies.
Yeah, I can't say it either. Just okay. I have blank fantasies. No, okay. This one is a strict no. I've never had them. I feel like that's kind of it's very immoral, and people should not be having these. And yes, it should not be you should not be able to have these and still be kind of sane, because you're kind of that's not right. It's not moral. It's not correct. As in like just doing something that you're not supposed to be doing. Like that's not right systematically. That's not right in general. Like it's talked about as something that is wrong. It's always been a wrong thing. It's never been as a right thing. And that's why I kind of agree with it. I'm like, disagree. Y'all try to catch me liking you. No. I strongly disagree with this. And a strict disagree on this one. Strict disagree. Like I said. But yeah, me personally, I've never had them. Strictly disagree. It's extremely hard topic to talk about too.
Oh, okay. So I said yes because like I can't think of a specific time, but like I believe I have at one point. It's more like role playing under very strict guidelines and with the understanding that my partner will stop if I ever get too uncomfortable. In terms of like fantasizing about actually doing the very illegal and immoral act.
Yeah, it's very immoral.
But I think, like role playing or even like the fiction you read or even like to a certain extent, as long as it's ethically made, porn, like it's exploring that healthily, I think, is valid, and it's something that I think I have done in the past.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I explore it in porn, but like personally, no. Like it freaks me out too much. You know, I do
I think it's
have
weird
like this
just
kind
in
of
general.
feel of wanting to be dominated by a man,
Okay,
or
that's-
a woman. That's
to some
more
women,
in
yeah.
porn
To some
than
women,
like
yeah,
in real
they
life.
would like to do it,
I
but
feel
not
like
all,
I'd be
not
freaked
all.
out in real life if that happened. But
So in this situation where you're doing this, like with your partner that you stated, are you the person that is receiving this idea of
You're saying, am I playing the role of the
victim?
assailant or the victim?
Yeah, are you
The role I am playing would be that of the assailant.
of the
In
assailant?
that,
Okay.
and my partner would be the victim. Due to like social anxiety and
Yo,
like
that's kind of
just a lot of things that keep me like a more like docile and submissive person, I like exploring a more dominant side via power dynamics in a safe environment, obviously.
when you're assaulted, like sexually assaulted, you don't have a choice in the matter. But when you are role playing it, you can say, like a safe word, and that you have the control. But when it's that control's robbed from you, it messes with you. I think that's the distinction with the role play.
I feel like we kind of have a misunderstanding here. I at least think that it's really insensitive, at least, to be doing these role plays because you will never be able to feel what these people feel, and
Yeah.
like it kind of
yeah.
it's off shifting to know that that's something desired.
No, exactly.
I understand
Exactly.
that. And like
No, exactly.
like I said, it is something like obvious. I've never experienced it, and so my fantasy kind of might come from like a position of privilege, and I think that's why I'd like to explore it in a healthy way to figure out like why exactly I feel that way. And I understand like from the outset, and even like as I explain it, it has the potential to sound like incredibly like jarring and shitty.
The way you're explaining it, though, like that's why I'm asking you questions because
Yeah,
I can
no.
instantly assume that you're a person. But now that I see the way you spoke to me, and you obviously have some feelings about it that you've thought to yourself over time. So, like, I just want to
Yeah, no, I appreciate
that.
that.
And I think that the way we handled it is kind of a good way to communicate with others and understand
Yeah,
issues.
no,
Yeah, no,
exactly.
like I appreciate the way you ask the questions and stuff like that.
Thank you.
I have been abused.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I've been abused. Disagree? No, I've not been abused. Like in any way. Like emotionally, mentally, physically. Anyway, nah. I have. I'm just gonna say straight up. I just haven't been abused. Just it. There you go. That's just that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been. I said yes.
I've been going through it. You go through it.
No, I think I've just been abused two ways, and abused is such a can mean so many things. So I've been
yeah,
abused,
that's the thing, abuse can mean-
emotionally in a
Yeah,
relationship,
emotionally in a relationship.
but not physically or
Physically or
sexually.
sexually. Yeah,
but
there's difference
definitely
there.
emotionally, and then I've been abused as like an employee to an employer. Again, not sexually or physically, but just abused their power over me.
As I talked about, I got harassed by an older female employee, and working through it, it's always a process. I don't know.
My family, we've endured emotional, physical abuse from my father, and I'm sure a lot of people can, attest and say the other same things. And he lives in a whole nother country now, so I don't really talk to him. And I need that guidance. When I'm going from 14 to 18 years old, that's like a really influential time. So it's really hard to have to deal with that on your own. The worst part was when I told him about some of the issues I have because I didn't have them because of the way he, hurt me. He kind of just said, yo, that's your fault. Like, you can't blame me for that and put it on me. I think this kind of ties into, I want to bring it in how sometimes I feel like as a white man, I can't really talk about my problems because you're always been taught to suck it up. And I'm sure all of us have been told that multiple
Well, I think
times.
just
in
as a
life.
man, sometimes
Suck it up. Buttercup, I heard over here one. So yeah, for you, I remember with your boss telling you that, that wasn't valid and that's not fair.
I don't think just because you're a man or white, you can't be abused. I was
Yeah, I'll
told
say
that
that.
growing up.
I think abuse kind of requires a power dynamic, and like even like all of us were white men, there's always somebody above us. There's a richer, whiter man, I guess. So like, what is exactly the top? Because there's always somebody I think above us to abuse us, and that's just not really talked about.
Really quickly, I just want to do one thing. There's going to be no talking. It's the last question I have, and you cannot elaborate on your opinion either way. Is the era of white men is over?
You can elaborate. Would I agree? Yes or no? Do I agree the era of white men is over? I still kind of agree in a way where I agree because I feel like there's still a lot of white men in power. Like most of the rich people are still white men in power, and he's been in it for years. So I would say I agree that. Wait, the era of women is over. I agree as in like the era. No, I disagree. My bad. I disagree because
Era of white men.
I disagree on that one.
Really wanted to elaborate on that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Thanks for commenting, subscribing, liking, hitting the button, hitting the noties and everything. Thank you for doing all this and that. Thank you for watching this video. Lucky, this is just, I don't know. I just wanted to do this one. I think it's just fun. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for commenting, subscribing, showing all your friends, all this and that. And yeah, thank you for spending time with me. And I hope you have the rest of your amazing day. Yeah. Until later. Bye. Bye.
Perfect.